It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hello, you're watching the Eagle Community Television Forum. I'm Mike Kerner, in for Gary Shorman this week. The forum brought to you by Hayes Med. By the way, if you've got any questions or show ideas, Gary would love to hear from you. You can email him at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Again, our guest this week is Jeff Burnett from Fort Hays State University. And Jeff, you work in the athletic department at Fort Hays State University, don't you?
Well, I work in health and hearing performance, which is right beside the athletic department. But we do so many activities together that we do overrun or overcross each other quite a bit.
I think that's why I'm confused
Absolutely.
on the whole thing. But you're around the whole Gross Memorial Coliseum and the whole Hyper Complex, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And now, what kind of function? What do you do at Fort Hays State University? Do you have classes that you teach, and do you have students you advise as well?
I do. I have a variety of job duties and activities that I'm involved in. The first one is I am a professor. I'm a full professor. This is my 13th, getting ready to start my 14th year at Fort Hays State. 2 years and gone, and no children, and here we are. 14 years later, two small children, and still at Fort Hays and loving it. I'm also in charge of the Tiger Wellness Center, which is the fitness center and the wellness center on this campus that serves the entire campus and the campus family and community. And also an advisor within HHP and Health and Human Performance, and involved in many activities across campus, such as academic affairs and faculty senate, and very involved in the faculty activities across campus too.
I know that you send out, I get the emails because I'm on the Fort Hays website, but I get a lot of emails, and you send out a lot of emails about all these programs, and you're doing programs constantly on campus, whether it's a weightlifting program for instructors, or maybe you're doing a boot camp. A lot of boot camps. I see a lot of those.
Those are so popular. It's the most popular activity that we do on this campus. You know, we started that about 8 years ago with Anna and Emily Hurl, the twins. Now it's Emily Washburn, and it was a great idea. We actually stole it from the Cooper Institute for Aerobic Research in Dallas, Texas, and they started that up, and we were all interns at one time when young in our academic career, and we brought it to Fort Hays, and it just really took off, and the faculty and staff at Fort Hays and the community and people that are involved in Fort Hays just really enjoyed the different activities and really finding out how important their health and their fitness is to their life and the life of their families and the life of their children and grandchildren, and because of that, the facility has just boomed. It's taken off tremendously.
Oh, I've noticed over the years that is just a fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to go out to see the facility, just take a tour. It's a great facility at Fort Hays State University. Now, you have your PhD. Where did you receive that, and how did you get into this whole this world?
Well, I actually have an EDD in higher education, and I received it from Texas A&M Commerce, which I was an athlete there. I ran track, and that's where I met my wife, Catherine. And you know, it was one of those opportunities where, you know, I was going to go to another university, but they kept giving me more and more opportunities to teach. You know, being involved and not in the athletic department, but kind of involved in the athletic department. When coaches were told that they needed to maybe go somewhere else for a while, they called on good old Jeff Burnett to come in and take over those classes, mostly because I'd do it for free. Yeah. And it was just, I really enjoyed the college atmosphere, you know, the atmosphere, and being in there with the college students and getting to know them, and just that environment is just fantastic, and being able just to teach them. And you know, Fort Hays does a great job in researching and bringing that part of the research component to the classroom and national-wide and international. But the real draw for me was being able to just mostly concentrate on the teaching, and even my research and service goes directly back into the teaching component. So it was just a great fit for me, and I just really enjoy it.
Well, I know that you love the teaching aspect of it, and that kind of leads me to the next question, something that's kind of away from Fort Hays, but it's not away from Fort Hays. And what I mean by that is you had a chance to take about 59 students this year. Last year was your first year to go to Haiti. And how do you garner up all these students and get them to go on this trip to Haiti? And that's what we're going to talk about in the second half of the show. But how do you get all these students together, and what was this organization all about that put this trip together?
Well, one of the student organizations that I'm in charge of is called Encounter, and it's a recognized student organization on the Fort Hays State campus, and it's faith-based, it's non-denominational. So we have every denomination that you can think of on campus and that you've come in contact to involved in our organization, and it's housed at Celebration Community Church. That's where we meet, but it's still a very popular organization on this campus. And because of that, we just really draw a vast majority of students from from every type of background, from athletics to psychology to sociology to health and human performance to graduate students to faculty and staff members. And because of that, you know, it came to my attention. There was just a lot of young men and women that was on their heart to go overseas and just to bring their time and to serve and just to love on some international kids that were really just needing some love in their life.
And it goes back to your teaching part. I mean, this is probably stuff that you love, going and see that and see what these kids learn. So the second half of the show, we're going to talk about their trip to Haiti, this being their second trip, yes. And we'll get to that here in the second half of the show. Jeff Burnett is our guest today here on the Eagle Community Television Forum.
HaysMed is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, HaysMed is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. HaysMed, helping people be healthy.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications. Our community connected.
Welcome back to the Eagle Community Television Forum. By the way, if you'd like to see some of the previous shows, you can go onto our Facebook page and leave some comments. It's Eagle Community Television Forum, and of course, it is on Facebook. Our guest this week is Jeff Burnett from Fort Hays State University. And Dr. Burnett, thank you for coming back and talking to us here in the second half of the show. I didn't scare you away after the first half.
It's my pleasure.
But we talked a lot about Jeff and his background, teaching background, and how he loves helping students out and watching students learn. And great. You had a trip to Haiti. This was your second trip to Haiti, and you watched these students learn. Were there a lot of students that went on the first trip and the second trip?
There was about 12 to 15 that went from the first trip to the second trip, which is really nice. Is you had a lot of individuals that did get to experience that and graduated and moved on, and some of them that just really didn't feel like that they needed to have other individuals have an opportunity to go. So it was a really good mix of about 12 to 15 people that had been there before, that knew the background, that knew the environment, and knew what we were really walking into. And then you still had, you know, the other 40 that had no idea it was their first time experience, and it was just a joy to watch all of them and you know, walk in and see what they can do to help internationally.
Well, that's what we're going to get to in a few minutes, is your Haiti trip. But how many trips have you gone on with Encounter over or out of the country? I know you've gone 2 Haiti trips. Have there been other ones too?
No, just the 2 Haiti trips.
Okay.
We make this a focus as going throughout the year. Now we do a lot of service projects in Wichita, and we go into Oklahoma. We've gone into Nebraska, and of course we've gone into Kansas themselves. We try to make that local for individuals. It's really not their heart and it's not their purpose that they feel that they need to go on an international trip, because this is a totally separate trip, because it is 1 week in Haiti, which there's, you know, the technology is limited, and so it's just pretty much you and those orphans in that school, and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of fun.
Okay, let's get into the Haiti trip now.
Okay.
And you brought up technology.
Yes.
You know, students today, they want to be on their phone texting all the time, yes, or checking emails all the time. Was that a hard hump to get over?
You know, it really wasn't. They did a great job. We prepared them. We started months in advance, and I had such a great crew.
You took their cell phones away. That's what you did.
No, we did not. But it doesn't work in Haiti. It doesn't work in Haiti. But you know, we had a Dr. Kathy Kelly and Talia Miller, the assistant women's basketball coach, and several graduate assistants that were with me, like Drew Gannon and Garrett Cars, that really helped prepare this entire group, what to expect and what not to expect. And one of the things was, you know, technology is gone. We did take one computer, and I did have a phone with me that was, you know, supplied to me in case there was an incident that we could call. And we posted, we did Twitter ourselves and Facebook, so moms and dads and knew that everybody was okay. But besides that, technology was out. It was out.
I knew you guys stay, when you go there, I mean, you're not staying in a lavish hotel or anything.
No.
You're staying in with some orphans, and these orphans are used to only, you know, a couple meals a week. Is that right?
That's right.
And
That's
then
right.
When you go, these kids are eating even better than they usually do.
They do, and that was part of the, you know, fundraising, the money that we win. Was we took a chunk of that, and we made sure that they were fed every single day. What a lot of people don't understand is, especially where we went in Canaan, which is right outside of Port-au-Prince, this is the place when the earthquake hit in Haiti about 5 or 6 years ago, and then remember the hurricane came about a year after that, and it totally just devastated that part of the country. And they gave them, the government gave them about 2 weeks to get out of Port-au-Prince. This is the homeless, and then they said, here's this land, which there was no plumbing, no electricity, and it wasn't a very nice place to go. And so they're in survival mode, and we forget that. So these young kids, anywhere from 2 up to 16 and 17 years old, and then by then they can't go to school. It's illegal in Haiti to go to school then. They need to get a trade or a job. They eat 2 to 3 times a week. Wow. And so when we went, we made sure that they were fed every single day, at least once a day, in big meals of, you know, rice and beans and chicken, and made sure that they had some water, and because water is gold there. People don't realize that the water there is very much controlled by the government. You've got to buy fresh water to drink. And so we made sure they had water also. And so every day they got to come, and at lunchtime they got fed, and it was just a joy to watch them eat, and really how thankful they were, Mike. It was absolutely unbelievable. And even the older kids, when they would get their food, they would make sure that the younger children got to eat first, because they knew that they were going to be okay, but those young kids could eat first. It was absolutely, it's heartbreaking trip, but it brings so much joy to see the difference that you can make in other people's lives.
Now, how do you arrange flights into there? I mean, does the government know about this, and then the government allows you to go in to do this? And,
right.
And does the government help you get this water and allow the food, or do you bring that food with you?
No, you pay for it. You pay for it when we get there. So what we do is we send the money before us, because we have our contact, of course, Lauren Clark. It's Here Am I Ministries. She's been there for over 30 years now. It's fantastic, and this is just her heart. But getting flights together for 59 people was quite the ordeal, as we went through many different organizations to try to find the best deal, because we wanted to make sure that we were honoring, you know, the moms and dads and people that gave money, and the churches that gave money across the United States, so these young men and women could go. So that took a little bit of organization, but I've got some people around me that are just tremendously organized, like Talia Miller and Dr. Kathy Kelly and Drew Gannon and Garrett Carrs and some other individuals, and my wife Catherine that got involved, and they were tremendous. It takes a lot of organization to get those young men and women there.
What do you see as a difference between your students and then the kids down there when you first come to Haiti? Is there a major difference from the students and also the kids by the time you leave? I mean, do you see like growth? Well, I mean, you're looking at two things here. Students, do they grow quite a bit from this learning experience, because they've never seen anything like this before? And then these kids, some of them probably have never seen people like you come down here and give so much to them, not only food but love and appreciation and acknowledgement.
What you always think is when you go down there is that you're going to change their lives. And it's going to be all about you, and you know, we bring toys and we bring school supplies, and you know, we do bring water and food and all different types of trinkets to help them as they continue on, and clothes. Oh my gosh, the amount of people in this community that donated clothes and shoes, and the dentists around town, the orthodontists that toothpaste and toothbrushes, and it was just absolutely tremendous. But you go down there with all these supplies thinking you're going to change them, and it's just the opposite. It's amazing to me, and it was amazing to everybody on this trip, how much joy and how much happiness they have, and so little they have. Material things mean nothing. They're just trying to survive, and they make it, and they adjust to it, and it was just a great experience. And the students at Fort Hays, man, what great students they are at Fort Hays. What great students. You know, they get to go down, they get to experience their lives getting changed by Haitian children that have nothing, and they don't have any food, and a lot of times they don't have any water, but watching those Haitian students smile and love and hug and grab them, and they don't want anything from us. They're not asking to be fed, they're not asking for water, they're asking to be picked up and hugged and loved, and it's tremendous.
You say that when the New Orleans hurricane happened, I had some students of mine that were going to put together a trip, and they were going to go down to New Orleans, and some of them were worried about their jobs and their life, and I said, you know, don't worry about your job and all your stuff back home, but go, because I think it's going to be a life-changing experience for you to go and help these people out. And I think that probably happened to your students as well. They get down there and it's a life-changing experience that they won't forget.
They won't. In Fort Hays, and all the way up from the president to the provost to the deans, they all knew that we were going, and they all were very much in support of, and what can they do to help us, and the local churches and the churches around in the community itself. And they knew what these young men and women were getting ready to walk into, and people that did have jobs and had summer jobs, and they all said, absolutely, please go and experience this, because you're going to be a better man and a better woman by experiencing what you're going to see in Haiti and how much you're going to love on those children, how much they're going to teach you, not just you teach them, and you're going to be better for it. And that's exactly what happened.
Maybe this is your memory, or maybe this is somebody else's memory that went on the trip, but you know, everybody kind of talks afterward. Is there one specific story that everybody loved to share when they came back? Just something that you all remember? Just one thing that happened that kind of changed a lot of people?
Sure, and a lot of the young ladies and young men really connected with some of the smaller Haitian children. And one story that really tells you what we were up against is there was a young man named Peterson, and he's 7 now. So 5 years ago, the earthquake and the hurricane came through, and they found him on the street digging through the garbage at 2 years old, trying to find something to eat, and they grabbed him, and just to see him flourish, and to see the smile on his face, and just loving, just a great young man, and just learning, and just, you know, it was okay that's what happened to him. All he wanted was love, and it just really touched so many of our hearts that look what this young man overcame, and he just wants to live life. He just wants to go after his particular faith, and just how much joy he has in their life. It really puts those you know, Americanized problems that we have. It really puts those in focus, understanding like, you know what, we are so blessed here. We're so blessed at Fort Hays, in this community, and the things that we have access to, and we should smile more, and the little things in life really shouldn't bother us, and really look at these individuals that are just in survival mode, and what they want to do, they just want to love. They just want to love and be loved. It's tremendous.
I'm glad you have these stories to share, and again, if people see Jeff around town, you can stop him, or even any of the students, and talk to them about their experience as well. And again, the group is Encounter.
Yes.
And I just want to thank your group for going, and you have plans to go back again next year?
We're going to go back again next year. You know, this is a week long that we get to spend with these young men and women, and it is truly their Christmas. For how much is donated, how much we get to bring, and how much love that they get in that entire week. You know, a lot of mission trips, you know, are 6 people or 8 people, 10 people, especially where we go, because it's a hard place where we go. And you're bringing 59 high energy college students from around this area in Colorado and in Nebraska and Kansas, and it's tremendous to go down there and see what they do and the energy they have and the love that they have for these young men and women.
Well, I appreciate you coming in today and talking to us, and appreciate all you do for going on those Haitian trips with the group. Again, our guest today, Dr. Jeff Burnett from Fort Hays State University. I'm Mike Kerner. This is The Forum. I want to thank Hays Med for being our sponsors, and thank you for joining us today. Again, it's The Forum.
Hays Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hays Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hays Med, helping people be healthy.